So with all these weapons flying around, let's keep this very, very slow. And let's just see what we got. All right.
My name is Charles Pasternak. I'm the artistic director of the Porters of Hell's Gate Theater Company in Los Angeles, which I founded 10 years ago. We've done half the canon, and with the goal of producing the entire canon. And I'm a regional theater actor, doing mainly Shakespeare across the country, and here in LA. My first meaningful experience with Shakespeare was working at the Will Geer Theatricum in Topanga Canyon when I was a young kid. I was probably 10 or 11. And I was training in their youth program with a number of teachers, but one man named Sheridan Christ. He was a great mentor of mine, and we had moments we were working on To Be or Not to Be, and the entire scene, and he asked me to take a pause in the line, "I loved you once," to Ophelia, and he asked me to take a pause before Hamlet said "once." That really sort of shook me and shaped my perception of what this genius's work could do and what choice was. In another scene, we were working on Orlando and Rosalind in the wooing scene where Rosalind is playing at being Rosalind. And Sheridan asked me if he thought Orlando was attracted to her. And I said, well, yes, he's attracted to Rosalind. He said, no, do you think Orlando's attracted to Ganymede, the man? And I was young enough at the time to be made very uncomfortable by that idea. And but in retrospect, over time, those kind of levels and layers and questions I found incredibly exciting. And you know, I want to say now with stuff like verse, which I'm so passionate about, and there's so many things about the work I'm incredibly passionate about, but the earliest thing that moved me deeply about Shakespeare was the discovery of how incredibly open to personal choice he is. And while I do think honoring what you believe his intent to be is a vital thing, and I think a lot of people do damage to his work by trying to impose more their intent than his intent on it. I think he is so vast and so open to what you bring, as long as you bring it truthfully, that it is the finest artistic vessel in Western art, certainly, and perhaps in world history.
Okay, so super slow. Sean, go ahead.
Working with Shakespeare has shaped my life. As an actor, you know, it's my great ambition to play all the great parts. As a director and as a sort of semi-amateur scholar, it's my greatest passion to get under these plays and try to understand them, and I find them the most deeply rewarding thing when I do. And so it's shaped my life in terms of my ambitions, which are artistic and you know, and at the damaging sometimes of my financial ambitions, but it gives me great joy. I would say, you know, I feel very rich in terms of what I get back from it. And so, you know, I think that's a simple answer, but I think that's honest. I think it has influenced every part of my life. I think it's really shaped my life's course.
Yeah, and bring it right in, and you both will go crashing into the wall. Great.
Talent, which people are born with to various levels, but more than that, although a certain amount is necessary, I think it takes discipline of the highest degree. I think it takes, you know, an Olympian's devotion and training and work ethic. I don't think we work hard enough on Shakespeare. I don't think, at least in America, it's given the regard or the financial sort of value to warrant the kind of work that is really necessary. And I think it's a reason you see so many attempted reinterpretations of him, and it's a reason that we dumb him down so much. And I think real greatness is trying to take the master on at what he actually gave us to work with. And it takes 8 to 10 to 12 hours a day of work, 5 to 6 to 7 days a week. We need to work harder at this, or as hard at least as, you know, professional ballet dancers doing classes every day, as a musician practices his instrument or her instrument every day. And I don't think generally in this country and in our sort of cultural aesthetic we give it the value that it needs. And so I think in a lot of ways you see a lot of bad Shakespeare. And I think that the overall thing it takes is devotion and discipline.
I want to feed you with my blood. I'll lop a member off and give you in earnest of a further benefit.
This speech is what changes Hamlet into the different man we see in Act 5. I think it's unfortunately cut or cut down at times, when I actually think it's one of the more vital speeches in the play. How all occasions do inform against me and spur my dull revenge. What is a man? If the chief good and market of his time be but to sleep and feed. A beast, no more. Sure, he that made us with such large discourse, looking before and after, gave us not that capability and godlike reason to fust in us unused. Now, whether it be bestial oblivion or some craven scruple of thinking too precisely on the vent, a thought which, quartered, hath ever 1 part wisdom and 3 parts coward, I do not know why yet I live to say these things to do. Sith I have cause and will and strength and means to do't. Examples gross as earth exhort me. Witness this army of such mass and charge, led by a delicate and tender prince, whose spirit, with divine ambition puffed, makes mouths at the invisible event, exposing what is mortal and unsure to all that fortune, death, and danger dare, even for an eggshell. Rightly to be great is not to stir without great argument, but greatly to find quarrel in a straw when honor's at the stake. How stand I then, that have a father killed, a mother stained, excitements of my reason and my blood, and let all sleep, while to my shame I see the imminent death of 20,000 men, who for a fantasy and trick of fame go to their graves like beds, fight for a plot whereon the numbers cannot try the cause, which is not tomb enough and continent to hide the slain. Oh, from this time forth, my thoughts be bloody, or be nothing worth.